So I'm here going late game with Blue Ice Super Sniper. So this is not a late game standard. I am going to bring 4 towers. I am going to bring whatever boosts and powers I feel like. And this is the run. So I have Glue and Ice because they're both sacrifices and stars. I have Super because it's good damage. And I have Sniper because it's also a star, it's a stun actually, and it's a source of income. So normally with with late game standards, I go 3 towers and a farm. So farm is not the only way to get money. Sniper ability can also give money, and the cool thing about sniper ability is it's actually money over time, so it's almost a form of eco. So the sniper ability gives 1,750 cash per use, and the ability cooldown is 30 seconds. So in a minute you get 3,500, and then that means you have 350 eco, and if you get 100 of them, you're gonna get about 35,000 eco, which is a reasonable amount of money. I normally actually only get around 32,000 when I go late game in regular arenas. Well, say in Bonanza arenas at least. With regular arenas, I go for what, like 12,000, sometimes a bit higher. No, I go for 22,000, I think. 12,000, like it's a different thing. Anyways, so yeah, this is a reasonable way to get money. Anyways, so then for the powers, I just went with a track power for starting off early game, and an eco power, and then I brought Big Bloon Beatdown because 4 boosts I could get theoretically plus 4 rounds, or possibly even plus 8 rounds, which is really good if I get that lucky, which I don't. But anyways, so some of you probably be saying, couldn't you bring the track powers and save them for the last few moabs or whatever in the last round? I'm gonna die. And yeah, sure, I could, but that's not a lot of damage compared to the amount of HP those moabs would have. It's kind of insignificant in comparison. So it's not really worth it. It's like we don't even include the damage the secondary attacks of the temples do, because they are pretty insignificant in comparison to the main damage of the temple beam and whatever else you have on screen, because they're just so infrequent and they do so little damage, and their road spikes would just be similar. There's only a handful of them, and it's only so many spikes, and it's only so much damage compared to the thousands of HP that the moabs and bfbs and ZMGs have. So it's not even really worth it in my opinion. So how I'm going to be doing this game, I'm going to be getting 13 temples, and then I'm going to, instead of filling them up with tech towers, I'm filling them up with snipers. And yes, tech towers are giving more damage, of course, everyone knows that, but the snipers are giving me a stun, which is much more useful here than tech towers, because the amount of damage I get from the tech towers is not, well, it's significant, but so it's not significant, it's a lot, but it's just better to have the amount of star I get from the snipers. So the snipers here are, they are a stun, so they stun moabs and bfbs for a long time. They also stun ZMGs. They stun ZMGs for about half a second, and if you get 3 of them timed right, they can perma-stun a ZMG so it can't move. So that is really good. If you don't quite understand why, I will explain it this way. When a balloon spawns, it has a certain amount of time before it reaches the exit, and you have to pop it in that amount of time. If you add a star, then you are increasing the amount of time you have, and that helps. Obviously, it decreases the danger of the balloon. And then if you are able to stop it completely, like you can with sniper, then it's never going to reach the exit, and it's got practically 0 danger with it. So that is a really nice thing. The main downside is sniper is single target. It can only target 1 balloon at a time. So if you have 100 balloons and 100 snipers, that's great. If you have 100 balloons and 1 sniper, that's bad. So you want a lot of snipers as many snipers as possible, really, to make sure that you get as much stun as possible. Because you need at least 3 per ZMG, and then to make sure that they are targeting different ZMGs, because if I just go with Forced or Strong and Last, I'm going to be targeting at most 3 Bloons at a time, which is not a lot when the game later on will be spawning 320 something moabs, and well, so it'll be spawning around 20 ZMGs and then 300 ish moabs, which is a lot of moabs, and 3 is not a good number in comparison to that. So I'd want a lot more, and I use close targeting for that. So they each target separate ZMGs then when possible, because they what they target is based on the location rather than just something global on the map, and that helps spread the ZMGs out and stun them all. And then I have the tempos on force targeting, and that helps because I can focus on the most dangerous ZMG, which is the one at the front, and then when that pops, it's only going to spawn 4 BFBs and 16 moabs, which I can still handle with the snipers reasonably well, and the ZMGs in the back won't start moving because there's still plenty of sniper star focused on them. And if I were to use close targeting, for example, then I'd be popping the entire round, all the ZMG layers, roughly at the same time, and then I'd have a lot of BFBs and even more moabs, and I wouldn't have enough snipers to stun all of them, and they'd move quite far and probably kill me a lot earlier. So it's just better to have snipers on close and tempers on force targeting for this. Then I have glue, obviously. I have 3 glue gunners, 1 at the entrance there on last targeting, and then 2 in the circles, top and bottom, on force targeting. I have a couple ice towers because ice is useful for slowing down the mobs and ZMGs, and BFBs I guess too. 2 layers, so you apply the ice on the ZMG layer, then you have slow ZMGs and BFBs, then you have fast moabs, which is really annoying because they are the fastest of the 3, so that's really bad. And then then you slow the moabs again with the ice ability again. So that's how that works. Not much else to talk about here. So, I guess we'll talk about the round. So, one of the first times I've ever shown a sniper late game was when I got round 133, which beat the previous world record, Laximus, which had around 128 and used Ninja Ice Super Mortar. This is way back in the past when glue glue was not a good star, because it didn't star mobs, BFBs and ZMGs, it only starred Bloons, so it wasn't really considered ever for late games. After that, it's gotten better, so now that's why I'm using this instead of Ninja, because I did it way back then with Ninja Ice Super Sniper, and now I'm trying it again here because of all the nerfs, and we're doing pretty good. So yeah, I get around 128 in this, which is pretty good. There's not many strategies that can get that far, and there's very few that can get further. There is one that can get much further, and so I'll probably be trying that soon enough. Yeah, that's about it. The 5000 eco really helped here. I might use pineapples next time because I might be able to get further before getting defense. And yeah, so here's my boosts. So I have 4 boosts. Ideally that's plus 4 rounds. Even better would be plus 8 rounds if I manage to get 2 rounds per boost. That's not the case here. I end up dying around 128, and I'm already on my second boost. You'll see just how fast the ZMGs are now. They're it's roughly every 20 rounds they get increased by 1 speed unit. So this is 27, 32, that's 90, they're like 4 or 5 times speed, which is quite fast. Yeah, so that's how fast they're going now, and they get quite far, and I think I boost every round now. So I boost around 127, and I boost near the end of round 128, and I die. And yeah, that's how it goes. Unfortunately, I boosted a bit later, around 28. I could have, if I boosted earlier, I might have gotten 129, but I didn't. But yeah, so you'll see here all of the BFBs. It's like the ZMGs start breaking one after another, and then into the moabs. So I get 4 BFBs per ZMG, 16 moabs from that, which is a lot of moabs, and I don't have enough snipers to handle all the moabs at the same time, so I want to break them one at a time. And I can pretty much ignore the ZMGs at the entrance there. I only have to focus on the bottom because, well, they're near the exit, and the ones at the top are not near the exit. So there's a boost. You can see it was pretty bad. Almost died, which is, I guess, a good thing that because I'm boosting around the right time. If I boost later, I might die, which happened next round. So yeah, yeah, that's about it. I talked about the ice. You start the ZMGs, that gives you slow BFBs also, and then you need to start the moabs, which fun. Anyways, yeah, so boost comes back. These are long rounds, as you can probably tell, just because of how good Sniper Star is, and that's why Sniper is a really good star now. So Sniper before a long time ago was not really ever considered a good late, like one of the best late game towers, because Chipper existed still, and Ninja and Ice also existed, and everyone knew how those worked, and no one really tried, well, not many people tried Sniper. And now any late game that is going for a really high round pretty much uses Sniper, because, well, the ability to have something stop moving is a really good ability when you have a limited amount of time to pop something. It just turns something into an infinite amount of time. And yeah, so eventually you get overwhelmed with too many more ZMGs, and that's what happens, and you die. And there you go. So yeah, ZMG is at the bottom there. I'm realizing it's not doing good. I decided to boost. I boosted too late though. Yeah. So that's game. It took over 2 hours. Next game probably gonna take near to 3 hours. It used to take 3 hours in the past, but better tactics have improved that. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Bye.